Hey everyone, this is the visual blooper and anachronism introduction from our 245 Digital Art and Media at Maricosta College. The goal of the first project is to have fun with whatever application that you chose to use for the semester. I really do want to focus on the fun part because I find that learning new technologies or new applications, especially when you feel like you can see it in your head right away, it can be really frustrating not being able to get from point A to point B or C or wherever, right? So the main thing I want you to do is become familiar with how the application works. I'll be providing some more tutorial videos on some of the free options like GIMP, Krita, and the paid options, which are the Adobe Photoshop in particular, and also Procreate. But those will come out in a little bit. I also want you to understand what the differences between the file formats are, when to use them, why they're there in the first place. I'll also talk about resolution, DPI, color modes, or at least color spaces that we'll be using. I'd like you to know how to save a file, retrieve a file, resize a file, and then post it to your website. So what do I mean by a blooper? So in this case, what I'm saying, and I'm kind of grabbing lots of different definitions here. It's an embarrassing public blunder, but it could also be a private, blunder, not X-rated, of course, or a representation of an ironic kind of public blunder. One could argue that memes are sometimes types of blunders or depictions of uncommon behavior or uncommon language. A note to all of you, please be mindful of the fact that we're in a public institution. We have many different ears and voices, and to try to keep things away from profanity and hate speech. The following images that I'm going to show you are from a website called Awkward Family Photos. It's really fun. Again, some of it may be unsuitable for younger, sensitive viewers, but it's the internet, and I just pulled some examples to give you an idea what I mean. A visual blooper can also be something that is moderately different than Say Now. So for example, part of the charm of the Awkward Family Photos site is that some of these photos are from the 70s or even the late 60s or even the 40s and 50s, and they, just by virtue of time passing on, they become kind of unique in their own way, and in some ways kind of funny. People also choose really strange ways to kind of arrange themselves or others in a portrait or in a group family portrait. Sometimes there's just a happenstance accident and something just looks a little bit off, and the combination of that offness can make it kind of funny and really or creepy, however you want to interpret it. All these photos are not digitally altered in any way. They're just straight from the camera. And what's funny is that now you think, well, anybody could do this with Photoshop, but in fact these were done in real life, which also is part of the charm of these photos. But I thought I would show you some of the examples of kind of disjointed behaviors that you might find in different images or different family photos that might contribute to being a blooper. You don't have to do like a family photo for your blooper. You could do anything. It could be a game. It could be a race that you saw. It could be somebody at the beach. It could be anything. So I'll go through examples and show you. So I just wanted to show you these just by way of giving you some inspiration for quirky and kind of odd combinations of pictures. Second part of the project is for you to, you could either pick an anachronism or a blooper. Now, a blooper is one of those funny things, but an anachronism is something that can be funny too, but it's more specific. And an anachronism is a way of either saying something or creating something that is out of place in terms of chronology or time. For example, if you saw someone wearing a 1940s dress or a 1940s suit of some kind, it might seem a little bit anachronistic at perhaps like a rock concert, or who knows. But in any ways, there's a mismatch. There's something out of time. And so some of the work I wanted to show you, student work, is a little bit out of time, and also maybe out of context is another way of putting it. You can see here that this is an image of the Joker, Heath Ledger's representation of the Joker, and there's a get out of jail free card from the Monopoly game, and there's a little mask on the I guess he's some kind of a industrialist guy. You can see that the Joker's wearing a watch, a Dora watch, and then you can also see an image from the Cheshire Cat. And so keep in mind that when you use images to create a visual blooper or create an anachronism, you're also pulling along all the kind of meaning / baggage that comes along with that picture. So in this image, for example, this is a combination of an actual house that's been shrunk down to look like a doll house put inside of a supermarket. You can see over here, I'm going to move my mouse, you can see these stripes here, those were put in by the student. And you can see there's just a sort of conglomeration of really odd, strange things, including SpongeBob. I think that's Plankton, and that's Squidward. And it's just a disjointed, totally weird context for all these pictures to be in the same image space. And that's also something that you could do. The main goal is to just have fun, move some things around, and see what kind of relationships you can create. Here's an example by an artist named Georges Chauveau. He was an impressionist, late 1800s. He was a part of the Pointillist movement. In fact, he kind of was the spearhead of the Pointillists, where this painting here is very, very big. But this painting was, again, painted in the 19th century, and this student chose to use that kind of idyllic, old school day. This piece is called Le Grand Jatte, or a day at the park, where people are just hanging out, doing enjoying the sun. In this case, they've updated it. This was done at the tail end of COVID, so you can see there are some masks there, and this person has updated each of those people with a laptop. This is another famous painting of Americana, and you can see the alien face there blended in. Again, it's just silly. It doesn't have to be serious. This is an Edward Hopper painting from the 1940s, I think, and Hopper was known for these really kind of austere, mysterious types of cityscapes. A lot of it really depicted a lot of loneliness, and so in this image, Hopper's painting is of a woman looking at a flat screen TV with what looks like a melting glacier, and then the woman on the bed has her earphones on. She's sort of plugged in. She has a remote, and she has her smartphone there on the bed. And that's it. So have fun and look for more tutorials.